When we're doing all this exposure stuff, I wound up being jettisoned from the group home into independent living. And you can imagine the scumbags also owned that too. Turns out they did. And they wanted to destroy any mentality I have left.
So you kept fucking around with these people and they got you kicked out of your adult group home. That's hard to do, dude. Getting into those places, you have to be like verified, like you are so fucked up that there is no fucking way that you will be able to survive on your own. So they know. They know for a fact that if they exit you into homelessness, you're not going to survive. Like, how, like, what the fuck were you doing? Fuck.
So about 2020, they had me drugged and essayed. And as a man, that is a very hard thing to say on the internet. But hey, I've been made fun of it for years, publicly, by a bunch of right-wing a-holes. We'll get to those fuckers. But, you know, no point in hiding it now.
My guess. My guess is what he mean. No, that couldn't be. I'm just thinking, like, what could he possibly mean?
For years. So about 2020, they
I just
had me
gotta.
drugged and essayed. And as a man, that is a very hard thing to say on the internet. But hey, I've been made fun of it for years, publicly, by a bunch of right-wing a-holes. We'll get to those fuckers. But, you know, no point in hiding it now.
That's another thing. When I first encountered Tibbs, he was very very right wing. He was. It was like it was why I was wondering why are these guys fucking with this dude? Because he was very based. He's become a pussified liberal. I don't understand it.
Yeah, there's a lot of spite there because that was just, well, Me Too movement was fake as shit. You know what I mean? So, about 2020, that happened. I did not. I did not handle that well. Because, I mean, first of all, you're being drugged against your will. That is, well, considering the Epstein shit and all the other corruption we hear about, are you really surprised? You know what I mean? But I'm a man. Yeah, I'm going to say it. It did break me. How did it not, you know? At the time, I was friends with some people on GT Online, and one of them said, hey, screw California. You want to move across the country? We just went through a massive flood, and if you help us fix up our place and clean up after all this happened, we can get you your own place and help you get started. I didn't want to hurt anybody. I wanted an escape from this pain, this entrapment that I felt by.
Spoiler: he's gonna piss off this group of people too. Yeah, so far he's pissed off his family. He's pissed off the internet. He's pissed off his group home. Uh, he's gonna piss off these assholes as well. No one in this story is innocent. It's a carnival of it's a carnival of fucktards, quite frankly. Has his life been? But the orchestrator of this idiot's misery is himself. Tibbs causes his own fucking problems most of the time. And Tibbs, if you watch this, just do what I tell you to do, dude. Just do what I tell you to do, and things will go well for you. Like, if you follow my advice, like, I'm not saying I have all the answers in life. But fuck, I have the answers to your problems. So does everyone else. I'm just willing to tell you what the fuck those answers are, dude. I haven't given up on the idea that you might actually be able to understand it.
The most corrupt a-holes of all time. I mean, granted, I shut
I
down.
mean, it's the same fucking advice everyone else has been screaming at you since, like, you were 15 years old at this point. But, like, I'm still willing to try.
500 group homes and cost 500,000 people their job. Of course they're going
Because I'm fucking retarded.
to keep going. You think that this SA was the last thing they were going to do? Hell,
Wait,
of course
what?
did. I shut down 500 group homes and cost 500,000 people their job. Of course they're going to keep going.
Accepting that it's a delusion. Like, do you understand that those group homes would have... Those are the only homes some kids have. If you had actually done that, as you believe yourself to have done, you're bragging about ruining the lives of hundreds, maybe thousands of children. I just gotta point that out.
You think that this SA was the last thing they were going to do? Heck no. So I took the offer. I dropped everything. I didn't know anyone who would help. There was one guy, another clientele who was being abused. His name was Josh. And he helped me pack up my stuff.
Wait, you're saying the group home raped you? Seriously?
And we went to a bus station. I took the few things that I had. I had a PS4, I had a couple changes of clothes, a couple of little things, and I went as far across the country as I could go, which landed me in Michigan. And I lived with his family for upwards of 3 years. Between 2019 and 2020, I had also met... I know, we're going to keep hopping around until we get all the details in place, right? Because it's the later part that is the real fucked up story comes from. In 2019/2020, I also met somebody named April 23, who was a attention-hungry e-girl with a terrible, terrible background secret that we didn't find out till later on. So I moved across the country. At the time, April lives in Canada, Brandy's in Michigan. California is miles behind me.
So, just so you know, 24 minutes in, like, it's a massive, like, the amount of massive red flags that would tell anyone seeing this for the first time to avoid you. Like, at this point, I'd be wondering if this is my first exposure to you, I would be wondering if this was some sort of parody by now.
For the first 3 months of Michigan, the people at Harbor Regional Center decided to target me with death threats and essay threats and talked about... I can only show this stuff on the YouTube. And some of it is so bad, I can only show it on the Rumble. I've shown it for years. I mean, at this point, some of the tech...
Regardless of whether or not he believes this shit, it ain't the truth.
I got were so concerning. And well, you all wonder how you create monsters, right?
Oh, God.
So I move across the country.
Like,
I'm thinking this is going to be...
You know what? People like cringe these days. Why isn't this guy, like, super popular? Like, I hate this shit. But most people love cringe content. I don't get, like... This guy should have, like, a cult following, frankly. I don't get why he doesn't. Like, ironic fans, yeah, but, like... I mean, I know... Like, I get why Axel thought he was fucking great at first. Like... Some people like this shit. Some people really would just think this is like the best shit ever. I'm just not one of them. Like, this level of cringe, except for the fact that you keep saying abhorrent shit. But I guess that's like part of... But I guess they would see it as part of the... I get why most people hate you. I just... Like, this is almost to the level of, you would think initially that it's a bit or a performance. Like, it's that cringe. Like, and just, like, I'm surprised people who like incredibly cringy shit. I mean, I met a few of them, but, like, that was all from Axel's community.
Great. This is the beginning of a whole new life. They can no longer contain me and treat me like I'm property. I have rights again. I'm my own man. No one can tell me how to live. I'm my own person to make my own decisions. I can finally be an adult. It's stupid, because I told people for years, I just want to be an adult. I want to have my own life. And I sat here naively thinking people gave a crap when most people never did. It was always about control.
You now live in a fucking group home. I mean, sorry. You now live in a motel room. You can barely afford food. You're constantly talking about how you don't have enough money for food. Begging for money for food on the internet. Like, if I recommend a game for you to play, your immediately response is usually something along the lines of, I don't have enough money to play that. Like, the reason, like, the reason that they put you in that group home was so this wouldn't happen to you. That's why your life has gotten worse, dude. The group home was so your life wouldn't, like, get worse.
So I moved to Michigan. I live with this family. And what am I doing, right? I'm cleaning. I'm a live-in maid. I'm not getting paid for it. In fact, I'm a live-in maid who isn't getting paid, and I'm paying rent. Because the rent I'm paying is supposed to help pay for the, it's supposed to pay for the electric bill. Now, my business and their business are two different things. I can say what I experienced. My goal is not to be an asshat and put everybody on blast. However, kind of part of the story, right? It's my personal experience. When your electric bill is $5,000, first of all, you're really lucky they didn't shut off at that point. Second of all, what the hell are you doing? These people owned their own house. They owned that land. And I come to Michigan and I find out that you don't actually own land. They owned a house, but they never actually owned the land. There was also other issues involved. There was, how do I put this? Brandy was a cocaine addict. Stephen had his own addictions. They had a brother, Devin, who was a despicable human being, actually, because some of the things he was doing was abhorrent. And I have to be careful with language, because honestly, I respect Butch enough to try my best to follow the rules, okay? So I'm not sure.
So these people who rescued him, oh, they turned out to be horrible people, too. No, I mean, everyone, it's TiBBz has only ever encountered horrible people, and also D-Chat. TiBBz, you know, it's never like, and it's always like, oh, they were monsters. I had to try to ruin their lives. It's never like, oh, we just, you know, drifted apart or some like normal shit. It's always like, no, but it turns out they were evil the whole time. It's like, fuck's sake.
I think I'm okay, but still, I'm trying to self-censor a little bit for that reason. If this were just YouTube, hey, God, may God have mercy upon your soul, okay?
See, it's like, it's like he's a child pretending to be an adult. Because he is. He is basically like he's a mentally retarded man who's doing his best to, you know, simulate normalcy, and this is the result.
Then there was, of course, 2 minors. At the time, I wasn't thinking about that because that didn't mean anything to me. I don't care about minors. They're over there, out of the picture. But they are a part of the picture in some way. Then,
yeah, I'm not going to make that joke.
And there was, of course, 2 adults, the parents, right, who were both old somehow. It was kind of weird, actually. Like, damn, they'd be getting it on at a really old age. What the hell? Not my business. I'm just like, it was weird, the age gap between them and, well, the oldest of the time.
It's a shame you guys have to be a bunch of assholes. bunch of hyper serious assholes. I could say some funny shit sometimes if like some of you wouldn't like autistically take it hyper literally.
I was like 16 or 17, I think. 16, probably. Which is insane. That's like, wow, how are they not 60 versus that? You know, it's a little odd, you know? But
Hold on. Let me let's see chat here real quick. Uh, Imagine thinking this lore means anything other than being a waste of space. Yeah, dude. I have to be honest. It's. I've encountered this before. Okay, there's a big part of it is I used to know this dude in college who had a similar issue, right? He was like slightly retarded. He understood just enough to know he didn't understand, sort of. And he had the same fucking tendencies. He would describe everything in like exaggerated and hyper dramatic fashion, and he would loop about the same thing, just retelling the story of his life over and over and over again. Some sort of like serious derangement. I really think this idiot has it too.
whatever. I'm not going to judge. Point is, they were old enough to know what the hell they're supposed to be doing. Mother was bedridden. The dad was always at work. Brandy was in charge. Brandy was an asshole. It was always drama. The first real drama we came into is, of course, April 23. The bitch. So, where do I begin without becoming absolutely agitated and angry and just with profanity? April 23 was a attention-hungry bipolar e-girl with serious mental health issues. She was dating a guy named Mac, okay, or Feedrock 97. I would find out later on through personal online exchanges that Feedrock 97 was the coolest dude in the fucking world. He was in the Navy. The guy is bullshit 1,000 times.
I've seen plenty of power banks over my 15 years of reviewing tech, but this Ridge one quickly became a favorite. So this, a 10,000 milliamp hour battery that's already this small, is pretty clutch, but it's also pretty low.
From 2020 to 2021, they were having issues. And finally, he dumped her. The reason why he dumped her? Because she was a toxic asshole. That was the wording for the most part, okay? And judging from how she treated people in our own friend circle, which was me, Brandy, a person we known as Stoned Kitty, and of course, a person we knew as Vivian. Oh, Vivian. Oh, how do we do this one? So, flash backwards in time now. I hate to do this, right? In 2006.
So hold on, he knew these people on the internet. These aren't even people he knew in real life. Fuck, what a sad existence.
16, I had a opportunity to go into the community because, you don't have rights, but we got to make it look like you do. So they take us out to the community to give us the illusion of freedom, right?
No, dipshit. The deal is you live under their authority. You follow their fucking rules in exchange. You don't have to face adulthood. Alright? Because adulthood isn't freedom and... Like, are you enjoying your adulthood, TiBBz? I don't have to tell you. Are you enjoying the smell of cigarettes reeking through the carpet of that cheap motel room you're staying in? Are you enjoying the cops taking your pets and living in a sea of your own shit? Having your trash pile up around you with no one to clean it up for you? Having to eat whatever comes out of the fucking microwave because you can't cook for yourself? You know, I feel bad for you because knowing they kicked you out of an adult group home, that's not being kicked out of a group home for minors. That means you were found to be so fucking vulnerable, it was felt that putting you on the street would be cruel. And you were such an asshole that in spite of that, they did it anyway. That's kind of impressive.
I met up with a friend of mine from college who I had known since 2010. That person introduced me to a person named Vivian for a quote-unquote blind date. No, D-Chet, I disagree with you. You say that moving to Michigan was the worst mistake and there are other big mistakes. No. Going on a blind date with a psychopath was the worst mistake I've ever made. Because if it weren't for Vivian, we would never have crossed paths with April. If it were never for that, we would never had problems with, I don't know, everything else. We would never had troll wars. We would never had to go through the absolute hell that we went through the last 4 years even. I blame Vivian for all of that because she was truly a origin point of sorts. Because if it weren't for Vivian, we would never have met Brandy. Honestly, Vivian was the biggest toxic hole I've ever seen. She is literally a toilet filled with diarrhea that will not flush. It was that bad of a human being. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying this because that was the experience and that was the entirety of how it felt. You have this human being that is basically saying, if I can't have him, no one can. Okay, Vivian, you want to make it personal? Fine, we will. I went on a blind date with Vivian. I took one look at her, because remember, it's a blind date. You don't know what you're walking into. And I'm like, holy fuck, no wonder you're single. And I never want to do it again.
Do I need to say anything to that?
She would become very clingy. I would decide, hey, you know what? Okay, fine. Because I'm an empath. I try to make everybody happy.
No, you're not. I am. It's a living fucking nightmare. Everyone fucking hates you. And then you feel bad for retaliating. No, you are some sort of... You are probably... The reason Axel liked you so much is because you are most likely a psychopath. No, I got that backwards. You're a sociopath. Yeah, psychopaths are the emotionless ones.
Fine, we can be friends. Oh, what a dumb fucking choice. I should never have said we can still be friends if you want. Because then, friendships? She did not understand.
Tibbs, you have sex with a doll. I don't believe for a second that you had sex with like ancient grandma. Literally someone's grandmother. Everyone was horrified and disgusted when it was revealed. Right? Like, I don't believe that there's a pussy on the planet you would turn down. I don't believe that this bitch was just clinging to you, but you were just too much of a chat. No, I don't think anyone believes that.